One of these days, I'm going to be able to come on this page and tell you guys I bought a house. That day is not today, but two people who I love very, very much, they have bought a house, and today we're making over their office. This office is pretty small. This is like one of those, it's like that third bedroom in one of the DC row homes that is pretty small, so you really can only use it for a home office, and that's great because one of them works from home. So we're gonna make it over today. Today is prep day. So we had a very brief conversation about some of the things that she wants in this space. Basically, she wants it to be usable. She wants her standing desk, and she wants a place for somebody to sleep if they need to. So it means that I need to find a day bed of some sort. I need to find a rug, paint, and a couple of other things. I'm gonna see if I can do this on a pretty tight budget because I have a ton of paint already in the house, and I already have curtain rods up. So we need to get rid of these really good curtain rods. I'm thinking we're gonna do this very quickly, very much so on a budget, and we're gonna reveal it to them when they get back. All in all, let's decorate a room in my best friend's house. We've prepped, we've taken everything out of the room. It is time to wallpaper this back wall. This is gonna be like our feature wall. We're using this wallpaper. I'm so excited. It's called P Street Martini from my wallpaper collection with Auto Studio. It is in the color rose, which I named after my grandma. The original Luxe wallpaper, which is what I've been using for many years, is printed on like a canvas-like material, sort of like a Louis Vuitton bag, whereas this is printed on something that feels a lot more like paper, and this design is sort of printed on top of it. And the great thing about that is that you don't have to worry about the texture of the wallpaper mixing with the texture of the wall and making it look crazy. Because I know a big thing with peel and stick wallpaper, and people who follow me specifically, is that they want to be able to do peel and stick wallpaper projects, but they live in old apartments, or they live in rentals, or they live in older buildings, and the walls are trash. So this gives you the opportunity to use peel and stick wallpaper with your textured walls, and it's still renter friendly. The house that my friends have bought is well over 100 years old. This house does not have central air. It's not updated in any way. The doors are original. They literally have a cedar closet. That is how old this house is. And so the walls have some texture to them. Just based off of looking at them, I can tell at some point that somebody sanded these walls down. If they want to take this wallpaper down and like highlight that beauty somewhere down the line, I want them to be able to do that. So we're just gonna wallpaper over it. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I tested out this wallpaper on knockdown and orange peel textures, and you saw how great it performed. So now we're back to actually install it. So let's get to it. A laser level is your best friend when it comes to installing peel and stick wallpaper. This is going to make sure that your lines are perfectly straight. It doesn't matter if you're doing this in a hallway. I don't care what you think you see with your naked eye. No wall is straight. I don't care how good of a contractor you had. I don't care how professional your build was. Walls are notoriously not straight. I like to set it up across from the wall that I'm working on, project it onto the wall to make sure that my lines are straight. These can be pricey or they can be kind of cheap. I think this one is around 60 bucks. I'll link it in the description box. You're gonna need some type of smoothing tool. This one came with like a Cricut machine that I use at some point. Auto Studio will actually send you one of these with your wallpaper order. So if you order from them, you'll get one of these. I like this one because it has the felt edge on the top, and that makes sure that as you're smoothing, if you're being a little bit too rough with it, you don't puncture your wallpaper. Next thing you need is something to cut with. I like to have scissors and a utility knife. Tape feels like a crazy thing to have for a peel and stick wallpaper installation, but hear me out. When you're installing wallpaper by yourself, you sometimes need a piece of the wallpaper to be held up while you're working on the other side, and this sort of acts like another arm. It acts like another person. If you are not used to installing wallpaper, but you don't have a partner, you don't have a friend to help you out, definitely get you some tape. The other thing I like to use is something that has a straight edge. At the end, when you're ready to trim all of your wallpaper, you can just press this up against the edge of the wallpaper, up against the edge of the wall, and cut across using your knife, and you can get a smooth, straight edge, because like I said before, nothing is ever going to be straight. Literally, happy Pride Month. When you are trying to cut something, you don't want to cut it based off of what your eye sees. You want to just use a straight, level edge, and then just go slice. Oh, the other thing you need, a ladder. I know this is gonna sound crazy because people always tell me that it sounds crazy. A ladder or some type of step ladder is the #1 thing everyone should have in their home, because it will help you install curtains, it will help you install light fixtures, it will help you install wallpaper. If I could tell you guys how many times on the internet I have seen people standing on top of stacks of books and high heels, I would scream out loud and choke to death, because I see it all the time. It is always super dangerous, and it always just looks, I'm sorry, kind of stupid. A ladder is a must in my opinion. But let's get ready to install. There's an ongoing debate about whether or not you're supposed to start wallpaper installations from the center of the room or from a corner. For me, if the pattern is super duper complicated and it requires it to be lined up in a specific way, I think starting in the center is going to be best, mostly because I think a lot of this depends on the design of the room and how the pattern works. If the pattern is very linear heavy, meaning it's got a lot of straight lines, a lot of intersecting lines to work with, and you're putting it in like a hallway or a focal point room or something like that, I definitely think starting the panel in the center is the best idea, because that's going to be where your eye is drawn to, and the last thing you want is a seam overlapping in the middle of the room. That drives me insane. Touching back on my hallway wallpaper installation, there is one panel in the center so that I would make sure that as you were looking down that hallway, there wouldn't possibly even be like a seam for it to not be perfect. I put one perfect panel of wallpaper in the center. And that's what I think I'm gonna do in this room, since this is gonna be the focal point and the place where she's taking like Zoom calls and people are gonna look directly behind her, and I don't want there to be like a seam in the middle of her head. That said, if your pattern is more busy, or if it's more like a mural, it actually might be easier for you to start the wallpaper installation from one corner. That said, if you were going to start it from a corner, I think because the wall is not going to be straight, what I don't want you to do is line it up perfectly in that corner, and then you have like sort of a gap situation. So if you're gonna do wallpaper in a corner, I do think scooting it over just a hair so that it's sort of overlapping with the other end of the wall might be a good idea, and then coming in with your straight edge and slicing down is gonna be the better idea. Quick thing. This wall is about 87 inches wide. Sometimes you will have to do math when you're installing wallpaper. And this is just to make sure that you maximize the wallpaper that you have, you limit the amount of cuts that you have to do, that sort of thing. I don't have a piece of paper. So the wall is, let's say it's 88 inches wide. Every sheet of wallpaper is 24 inches wide. That means that I would need about 3.7 rolls of wallpaper, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5. No, I actually think I have 6. So I have more than enough to get this done. Basically, if I have one center panel and that takes up 24 inches, that means that I will be able to do 2 additional panels on the other side, and then I'll have to make cuts. I don't want to make that many cuts. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna install the first panel slightly off center so that it will just limit the amount of cuts that I have to make, and the cuts that I will make at the end will just be bigger. Instead of having to do like little slithers down the side, it'll be more like half a panel, basically. I just want to check and make sure approximately how long I'll need each wallpaper panel to be. I recommend leaving about an inch or so at the top and about an inch or so at the bottom. That way you'll have enough that you can like go through and do a clean cut. You're only working with a certain amount of the wallpaper at a time. I like to like leave a runoff of maybe like 2 feet or so, and then I'll just tape it right here. and I'll tape it right here. This is because one time I was installing wallpaper and I almost fell because the excess wallpaper that was sitting on the floor, when I tried to step off my ladder, I tripped on it and I almost fell. I like to have a little bit out that I can work with and then have the rest taped up. This is just something that I do for safety. You see how it's lined up over here? But then down here it sort of kicks out. The wall isn't straight. I would just tuck it in, and then when you're ready to cut, you just cut it down a straight line. So right now I could get to the point where I'm ready to trim this, but the reason I'm not gonna do that is because I wanna make sure that I get a straight line across the entire thing, not just this one panel. So I actually am gonna switch to my scissors here. I'm gonna leave a little bit down here. I'm gonna roll back my backing so I can leave a little bit on the downstairs part. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to get a clean cut right here. Part of the reason I wanna get a clean cut is because up there where I left the wallpaper, this is actually where this starts at. So I want to get a clean cut down here just in case I need to use this and take this piece and go back to the top with it. I don't need to do that because I have enough panels that I don't have to do that, but I would want to make sure that I had enough up at the top so that I could take this piece and then go right back to the top and start again. I'm also going to cut off this part of the backing. That's going to go in the trash. And I keep the scraps separately because I like to use these for like different projects because you never know when you need them. Wallpaper, I have it going all the way out, and I'm wondering, should I end it at this corner or wrap around this sort of bump out here?
I think you should really wrap it around the corner.
I agree, but I wanted to get a second opinion. Should I wrap it around this whole sort of bump out as well and take it to the corner, or just have it be like a natural end of the closet door?
Oh no, Mommy. I think you should stop it at the door any further, and it looks like you're doing too much.
Okay, I'm gonna get back to wallpaper. That is a wrap on day one. I'm gonna come back tomorrow. We're gonna paint, finish up the rest of this wallpaper. It's gonna look so good. It's gonna look so good. It's time to do my favorite part of the project, which is painting, because I love my friends and I care about them and their space and making sure that I take care of their house while they are letting me do this DIY. I need to make sure that I tape off the areas of the baseboards and the window seals that I'm not gonna be painting.
I'm so nervous. I love it so much. The black art, you know, I'm really big into black art.
Yeah.
So the fact that you found something that will match is amazing. Blue is my second favorite color.
Oh shit.
So you did that.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, you did it? I didn't know that. Okay, you know I'm always at meetings at work. Is this a standing up one?
Yeah.
I try to do it.
Yeah.
Shoot, y'all, it's a real life reaction. Okay, so I can see.
Yeah.
I got the whole time. Oh, I love this pink. My sister, when she comes to visit, she's gonna love this.
Oh my God.
Like, this is actually really cute.
I wanted you to have a cute background to work
No
from.
Zoom background.
Yes. I wanted to give you a little mirror.
Yes.
So when somebody comes, if they have to use the guest room, they have like a mirror, they can look at themselves.
Yes.
And
I love it.
this whole thing pulls out. And so you can turn it into
Like a whole bed. Like
a whole bed if you want.
I love that. I just feel like it makes it look spacey. And like it was so small before.